This week on Worldwide Gaming, I review Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. John takes a look at the top 10 video game dragons. Vince takes a look into the history of the Doom series. And an interview from E3 with the developers of Battlefield Hardline. Hello and welcome to Worldwide Gaming. I'm your host Ryan.
I'm Vince.
And I'm John.
And today I'm actually reviewing a free-to-play game, which you might, it's got a kind of stigma behind it, but...
So how much money did it cost you to play it?
Well, actually, I went in the early access, so I paid $20, but it's weird. At one point it was you had to pay money to speed up counters, and then for some reason they just completely changed it, like, nah, we're just going to do cosmetic stuff. So I guess that works out. Worked for the best.
Free to play?
Yeah. All right, but now we're going to go to the forecast.
It's Elementary and the new Sherlock Holmes Crime and Punishment, coming to PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One. We've deducted that this game may be alright. We've given it a 1.
To the wall by a harpoon. The force of the blow was immense. Now I know one thing for certain. Patrick Cairns is the murderer. You are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
Looks like there's an electrical storm heading away in the form of Teslagrad for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita and Wii U. We give it a 2. One of the hottest games of last year is back with the release of The Last of Us Remastered for the PlayStation 4, coming at the end of this year. We're all pumped for this one. We gave it a 5.
So the thing that jumps out first from that list is The Last of Us already getting a remaster. Well, I'm not sure if it's already. It's been about a year or so.
Come on, it's awesome, and I'm all for bringing it to the current gen, not the new gen, because that doesn't count anymore. But come on, give it some time to age a bit.
I would say it's a bit too soon for it. I mean, generally remakes like that, you wait
10
several years. No, not 10 years.
Halo 1.
I think it might have been worth waiting a few more years and let developers get a chance to really explore what the PS4 can do.
Yeah. I
agree. And then remaster it, and that way it looks way better than it does right now. Because right now, if you look at them side by side, I'm guessing you could see a difference, but it wouldn't be enough for just the average consumer.
I think they're just trying to keep the hype around the game, because they know if people are still talking about it, they might buy it again. But then I don't know if people might already have it if they want it. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, but right now is my review for Mighty Quest for Epic Loot.
This is my castle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Come on in.
Free-to-play is not a dirty word. In fact, most of my favourite games of the past 5 years or so are free-to-play. When Mighty Quest for Epic Loot first entered Steam Early Access, it was a type of free-to-play game where you'd find yourself paying real-world currency to speed up countdown timers, sometimes as long as 4 hours. After taking on some feedback from the players, the developers have adopted cosmetic upgrades as the main items to be paid for, meaning that everyone is now on a level playing field regardless of how much money you put into it. After spending a considerable amount of time with Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, I strongly suggest people try it out. What do you have to lose if it's free? So what is Mighty Quest for Epic Loot? The best way to describe it is an isometric dungeon, or in this case castle crawler. That in itself is not that exciting, but what if you're the one who was creating the castle and challenging your friends to run it faster than you? One of your friends will also create their own castles with carefully laid out traps and monsters to try and stop you looting. As you might expect, the epic loot in your quest is actually the loot from other real-world players. The game gets really exciting as you desperately try to loot as many castles as you can for the hard-earned cash, while also maintaining your own castle's defences. There are 4 classes in the game that have specific strengths and weaknesses. I chose the Archer, who uses range attacks to take out enemies before they get close. But there is also a Knight who runs in and kills everything, a crowd-controlling Mage, and the fast and nimble Runaway. This is where one of 2 non-cosmetic micropayments appear. For a free player, you can choose one of these characters, and you'll have to use Blings, which is the real-world premium currency, to buy any other character. There isn't really a story in Mighty Quest for Epic Loot. In fact, Ubisoft has stated the story of our game is the story of our players, and I find that mostly true. There are a lot of water cooler moments here, like how you beat one of those tough boss characters, or finally beat one of your friend's castles. I thought it was really cool how you could view recordings of players going through your castle, and seeing which parts of it can be made that little bit more menacing. The game itself is incredibly vibrant and colourful, which you don't see in many dungeon crawlers. The colours highlight a lot of the humorous side to Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, with crazy characters and traps ranging from squid tentacles and buckets, to hamsters and spiked wheels of death. It's a shame there aren't any cutscenes in the game, as if the trailers are anything to go by, the game would have been incredibly funny.
This is Nigel. He's like a deadly weapon, and the bestest friend you could ever have, all in one! Better out than in, I always say. That's poison.
After any alteration you make to your castle, you'll need to validate it and set a time for others to beat, and also show that it's actually possible to defeat. I've had a ton of fun deliberately placing dead ends in my castle to confuse my attackers and waste their time, while watching them slowly make their way back to the castle entrance and go the correct way. If that isn't your style, you could always make a castle and fill it to the brim with difficult monsters and cleverly placed traps. It's completely up to you. Being a dungeon crawler, there is a heavy emphasis on loot. Defeating enemies gives a random chance to drop loot of varying levels of rarity. After looting a dungeon, you'll need to clear out your inventory and equip any loot that's better than what you currently have equipped. This will happen a lot, but there are some tough decisions to make here, depending on how you want to play. Some items will give you increased damage but less armor, some will give you better loot drops but no extra experience, or any combination thereof. For the loot crazy, your addiction will be thoroughly satisfied. Although Mighty Quest for Epic Loot may be free to play, it doesn't let that get in the way of being an awesome game to play. The game only gets better with the more friends you have playing it too. Anyone who is nostalgic for dungeon crawlers should definitely give this a go. And remember, a house is not a home until it can kill intruders in at least 7 different ways simultaneously.
Hey guys, enjoying the show? Check us out on YouTube to catch up on previous episodes, check us out on Facebook to keep up to date with WG Crew, and check out the website for any other information that we may have missed.